Alright, I know I'm a few days late for this review, but Hellboy was one of my most anticipated films of the year, so I just knew I had to see and talk about it with you guys. Hey, what's up guys, it's Jakeem the Nerdy Python coming at you with yet another movie review. So Hellboy, not to be confused with 2004's film of the same name, is a reboot to the franchise and stars David Harbour as the Big Red Ape himself. In this film, Hellboy alongside his team at the Bureau of Paranormal Research and Defense has to track down the scattered body pieces of the Blood Queen Nimue and prevent her from raising hell on Earth. So guys, there's many things that this film does well, but there's a couple major things they sort of missed the mark on that overall just calls for an unpolished final product. And I'm sad to say I was a little disappointed because I was really looking forward to this film and I had such high hopes for it. So, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about that with you guys right now. The first thing I liked about this film was definitely the casting. All the actors and actresses did well in their roles for the most part, but even in that aspect, there were just a few flaws that I found. David Harbour did great as Hellboy, but I did notice his makeup was a little lacking as the prosthetic horns sort of prevented him from showing much facial expression. And it's kind of weird because I know Ron Perlman definitely had a little bit of the same type of makeup, but you know, we didn't have that problem, and we could clearly tell what he was feeling or about to say, you know, just by looking at his face. And it's just a notable comparison that I was able to make just by watching this film. But none of that was much of an issue because David Harbour did well portraying this creature who was essentially bought to destroy the Earth, but ultimately ended up walking his own path and choosing the way of the hero. And we definitely see that struggle within his nature in this film. McShane also stars as the new Professor Broom in this film, and he did a great job portraying Hellboy's father and trusted guardian. I know that McShane is also pretty well known for these types of roles, but I honestly feel like any older actor like Gary Oldman, for instance, could have done well as Professor Broom. Sasha Lane did great as Alice, Hellboy's female partner of the group, and she was very likable with some witty dialogue and a cool, badass special power that I won't spoil here. I'm also not really that familiar with Sasha Lane as an actress, but I did find her very attractive, and I'm excited to see her in other roles. And guys, just like the two films of the first series, Hellboy has a male rival teammate in Daniel Day Kim as Ben Daimyo. I enjoyed Ben as the more serious, war-torn member of the team who clashed with Hellboy, who we all know is the more free-spirited hero, and the battle between them was just amazing. Oh yeah, and the fact that the guy could transform into a jaguar was just made his character that much more interesting. Milla Jovovich killed it as Nimue the Blood Queen, who was the main villain of this film. She was very sinister and hellish with her powers of immortality, which sustained her even after being severed into pieces. She was pure evil and had just the worst plan of eradicating humanity, which really lived up to the film's main theme of essentially hell on Earth. Guys, this film also has some pretty stunning visuals. The CGI was great and brought all the fantasy elements to life. Everything from giants to the foot demons, and especially the hellspawns, who are larger than life with designs that really complemented their violent nature. And I don't know if I mentioned it before, but this film is rated R, so there's a lot of blood, violence, and gore, especially on behalf of the Hellspawns. The action also looked pretty good and was consistent throughout the film. From start to finish, Hellboy goes toe-to-toe with these hellish demons and fights hordes of monsters with his team, which of course is a central part of this story. The soundtrack was just awesome. Each cutscene being met with, you know, these great rock and roll tracks that we all know and love. Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue being played at the end being like my personal fave. And guys, like I said before, there's a couple major things I didn't like about this film. Number one being a combination of bad writing and acting, particularly on the part of David Harbour's Hellboy and Sasha Lane's Alice. I did mention that for the most part everyone did well in their roles, but I couldn't help but notice that there are certain parts where David Harbour's delivery was just so off. For example, that part when he yells at Nimue, "I'm a Capricorn and you're fucking nuts." He's doing all this shouting, but you know, yeah, she's standing right there in front of him, and I just thought it was a little over the top and kind of misplaced. His words also slurred at times, and there's this one part where he stops in the middle of a fight to deliver some humor, and it just doesn't land and ends up being a waste. Sasha Lane as Alice also had a couple cringy acting moments. The first one being when we're first introduced to her character, her accent just seems totally fake, and the line was just awkwardly delivered when she offers Hellboy like an English or Irish breakfast, one of those. I just forgot, but it was very awkwardly delivered. And then again towards the end of the film where she makes a joke about Daniel Kim's character being a dick because of his struggle with this transformation, which I just thought was very cheap and a little on the nose and kind of treated us, the viewers, as if we were dumb and couldn't instantly make that connection, and which was very obvious, and I just didn't think it needed to be brought into the script. The last major thing I didn't like about this film was definitely the storytelling, which started off fine by introducing us to Nimue and her whole grudge against Earth, but the film just completely fails to do the same thing for other antagonists. There's this warthog slash human type demon who's Nimue's right hand man and also has a grudge against Hellboy, but they completely bullshitted his backstory and made it related to Alice's, which I just felt was very cheap and just like last minute filler. The same could be said about this ancient witch we're introduced to at the beginning of the film, who also has it out for Hellboy, but there's no hint that she returned later on in the film, so that when she finally did and Hellboy does confront her, it's just sort of like, what the fuck? And that right there, those two major things right there just completely took away from the film and degraded it and just made it kind of messy, to be honest, because now that once we finally get to the end, I was just left still thinking about, like, how the hell did we get here? And it just made it all feel like a mess. All in all, guys, bad acting / writing coupled with some fucked up storytelling really just degrades the film and makes it not all that worth it. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 snakeheads, and the only reason I won't give it a 2 is because I feel like if you can turn your brain off and just watch mindless action, then you'll probably like it, but I just don't recommend it for others. So leave your comments down below. Have you seen Hellboy? What did you guys think? I hope you guys enjoyed this review and found it insightful. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're new to the channel, make sure you tap that bell for notifications. There's also links to my social media posted down in the description below. And as always, Nerdy Python is out of here.